You already know what this feeling is. The alarm fires and something happens before your feet even touch the floor. Not a sound, not a thought, a weight, formless, heavy, sitting on your chest before the day has asked a single thing of you. You lie there staring at the ceiling, running the same calculation you ran last night. The account that refuses to climb. The job that exhausts you but doesn't compensate you with enough dignity to make the exhaustion feel worth it. The version of yourself you imagined at 22 feels further away now than it did then. And the cruelest part is not the struggle. The cruelest part is the private silence around it. You perform fine at work, you laugh at dinner, you answer texts with exclamation points, and then you come home, and the ceiling is waiting, and the math starts again. That quiet, invisible war you fight every morning before the world even knows you're awake. That is exactly what this is about. Let me say something clearly, and I need you to actually receive it. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not someone who lacks the willpower or discipline that other people seem to carry effortlessly. Those words were never your problem. They were never even close to the problem. The problem is architectural. The morning you keep failing is not failing because of your character. It is failing because of the structure it was built on. You cannot outrun a broken operating system with harder effort. You need to demolish the structure and rebuild it from the ground up. That is what we are doing today. Here is the lie that has been sold to you 1,000 times. You just need more motivation. Wake up earlier. Watch the right video. Set a better intention. Visualize your goals. And for approximately 4 days, that advice works. You wake up at 5:30, you drink your water, you feel something adjacent to momentum, and then Thursday arrives, and the alarm fires, and the weight is back, and you hit snooze, and by 7, you are lying in the wreckage of another collapsed routine, asking what is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. The advice was defective. Motivation is not a fuel source. It is a weather pattern. It arrives and departs entirely outside your control. Building your mornings on it is the architectural equivalent of building a house on fog. It will collapse every time. What you need is a system so mechanically simple, so biologically aligned, so deliberately low friction, that motivation becomes structurally irrelevant. The machine runs whether you feel good or not. That is what we are constructing today. Not a morning routine, a rebuilt operating system for the first 90 minutes of your life. Step 1. Stop treating the morning as something that begins at the alarm. The common trap is the assumption that your day starts when your eyes open. It does not. Your morning is built the night before. What most people do is collapse into bed with no preparation, no sequencing, no architecture of any kind, and then stand baffled when waking up feels like being thrown into a firefight with no armor. The deep reframe is neurological. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for discipline and executive decision-making, does not come fully online the moment you regain consciousness. It wakes up slowly. If the first thing it encounters is an unstructured environment full of open decisions, it defaults to the path of least resistance. Always the phone, always the snooze, always the drift. Pre-construct the environment the night before and the brain stops fighting. It follows the track you laid. Your mornings stop feeling like warfare. They start feeling like sequence. Sequence is survivable. An unstructured war before sunrise is not. Their algorithm, their outrage, their emergencies, all of it flooding the only window of the day where your attention belongs to you. Every morning you hand that window to your phone, you are paying rent in your own mind to landlords who never asked your permission. Your baseline anxiety decreases measurably within 1 week. Not because your circumstances changed, because you stopped flooding your nervous system with manufactured urgency before breakfast. Their algorithm, their outrage, their emergencies, all of it flooding the only window of the day where your attention belongs to you. Every morning you hand that window to your phone, you are paying rent in your own mind to landlords who never asked your permission. Your baseline anxiety decreases measurably within 1 week. Not because your circumstances changed, because you stopped flooding your nervous system with manufactured urgency before breakfast. Step 3. Consume protein before any caffeine. The common trap is the standard inverted approach. Coffee first, food optional, anxiety disguised as focus. Cortisol is naturally at its peak in the first 90 minutes after waking. Caffeine on an empty stomach amplifies cortisol further, producing a state of neurological alarm that most people misread as productivity. They think they are sharp. They are overstimulated. The deep reframe is metabolic. Protein stabilizes blood glucose, suppresses the cortisol spike, and activates neurotransmitter activity responsible for sustained focus rather than frantic, anxious energy. You do not need an elaborate meal. Eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein shake, something that signals to your nervous system that the body is fed and this is not a crisis. You stop crashing at 10:30. You stop reaching for sugar at 11. Your decision-making quality in the first half of the day improves in ways you will notice within days. Step 4. Write 3 sentences every morning. Not a journal, not a gratitude list. 3 sentences only. 1 about what you are afraid of today. 1 about what you are asking of yourself today. 1 about the single task you will complete before noon. The common trap is the all-or-nothing collapse of journaling. People either overjournal into elaborate procrastination or abandon it entirely because it feels performative. 3 sentences destroys both failure modes. The deep reframe is cognitive. Fear inside the skull expands to fill all available space. It becomes ambient. It becomes the entire atmosphere of the morning. Written down, it becomes finite. A word on a page. Named things are categorically smaller than unnamed things. That is not philosophy. That is how the brain processes threat. The formless dread sitting on your chest at 6 in the morning has been given a shape and a boundary. Bounded things are manageable. Unbounded things consume you. Step 5. Execute the hardest item on your list within the first 90 minutes of your day. Not second, not after warming up. First. The common trap is the warm-up ritual. People tell themselves they need to ease in, generate flow, build smaller wins before the big one. This is procrastination with better posture. Avoidance dressed in the language of process. The deep reframe is dopaminergic. Completing a difficult task early triggers earned dopamine. Clean dopamine. The kind produced by real accomplishment, not digital stimulation. Earned dopamine generates confidence that compounds. Manufactured dopamine generates dependency that hollows. By 9 in the morning, you have already won the day. The rest operates from surplus, not deficit. The background hum of the unfinished thing that has been following you for 3 days disappears. Your nervous system registers the completion and resets. Step 6. Build a hard stop into your morning. Designate the exact minute at which your morning protocol ends and the reactive portion of your day begins. The common trap is allowing the morning to dissolve. 1 email at 7:15, 1 notification at 7:40, and suddenly the protected window has merged completely into the chaos it was designed to precede. The deep reframe is about sovereignty. Every minute the morning bleeds into reactivity is a minute extracted from the only window of the day that structurally belongs to you. Set the time. 7:30, 8 o'clock. When it arrives, the morning is complete. What occurred before belongs to you. What comes after belongs to the world. Over weeks, you develop a proprietary relationship with your mornings, a sense of ownership that becomes indistinguishable from self-respect. Step 7. Track consistency of execution, not quality of outcome. The common trap is emotional accounting. Good morning, bad morning. The morning felt productive. The morning felt slow. This is measurement by feeling, and it will demolish every system you ever attempt to build. You will have bad mornings, you will execute the complete protocol, and still feel like wreckage by 8. It happens. The deep reframe is behavioral. Consistency data is the only honest metric. Did you perform the steps? Yes or no? Track the streak. Not the feeling, not the visible result, the streak. You are building a neural groove that, between 60 and 90 days of consistent pressure, becomes automatic. During that window, your feelings will lie to you. They will say nothing is working. The data will not. You stop abandoning systems every time a morning feels hard. A difficult morning inside an intact system is worth 10 easy mornings built on nothing. Now I need to give you a warning. This matters more than every step above. Around week 3, possibly the start of week 4, you will feel nothing. The novelty will have evaporated completely. The initial current of energy that carried you through the first 2 weeks will go flat and silent. You will look at your bank account and it will appear almost identical to before. Your life from the outside will look like it has not moved. This is the valley of silence. It is the most structurally dangerous phase of any transformation because the evidence is lying to you. The evidence says nothing is working. What is actually happening is that the foundation is being poured. Foundations are invisible by definition. You do not see them while they are being laid. You feel them later, when the structure refuses to collapse under the weight of a hard season. You will want to quit in that valley. You will construct 1,000 logical reasons why this system doesn't apply to your specific situation. Every person who has built anything lasting has stood in that valley and felt that exact silence. The ones who continued are the ones you find yourself studying. The ones who quit blame the system. One more warning. The people closest to you will notice you are changing, and some of them will push back. Not because they want you to fail, because your discipline makes their lack of it visible. When you stop spending money you do not have, when you stop staying out until 2 in the morning on days that matter, when you start showing up calmer and more boundaried than before, certain people will call you rigid, boring, changed, as though change were an accusation. Expect this. Do not explain yourself to people whose comfort depends on you staying exactly where you are. The people who mock your discipline in year 1 will ask for your advice in year 3. Stay quiet. Stay consistent. Let the results speak in a vocabulary they cannot argue with. Picture the version of your life 20 months from today. The morning protocol is automatic. It requires no willpower because it requires no decision. You wake up and there is no dread on your chest. There is a quiet, unannounced confidence that needs no audience. Your finances have shifted, not dramatically yet, but measurably. There is margin where there was none. There are options where there were only obligations. The people in your immediate world can feel something different in how you carry yourself. You have stopped apologizing for wanting more. You have stopped shrinking to preserve other people's comfort. You are someone who executes consistently without requiring the weather of motivation to cooperate. That person is not a fantasy, not reserved for someone with better circumstances or a different starting point. That person is the mechanical output of the decisions you begin making tomorrow morning. Even if you only implement half of what was covered here, your trajectory will change, not because of inspiration, because of compounding. Small, consistent actions applied over time produce geometric results. That is not motivation. That is mathematics. And mathematics does not negotiate with how you feel. If you are ready to rebuild your mornings and take back the first 90 minutes of your life, comment the words "I am rebuilding right now," not after the video ends. Now. And subscribe to the Peak Minds to lock in the commitment. The algorithm is irrelevant. Your decision is not. One comment, one subscription, one morning, then the next, then the one after that. That is the entire architecture. Now go build it.